got some mesh. Oop. We're going to put some of this stuff on that thing. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Richard. This is my RB200. Jonathan's over there somewhere, and we're at JDM DYNO at Kirkbride. I've got some bits, I'll show you. The postman has been. So first of all, I've got some mesh. Now it's not the mesh kit that I want to ultimately make for the car, because I'd like to make a proper fitted set, but it's something close, and it'll get some vents in there to be able to get these photographs, and it'll do for now. So it's quite a deep, almost honeycomb mesh. Got this off eBay, it came from Germany. There was others but this looked like it had a much bigger honeycomb, bigger pattern. So I've got 3 sections of that, one for there, one for there. The offcuts out of there should do the little pods up on the rear clam, and then the 3rd sheet should do all me vents on the rear clam. One small problem that I'm going to have with this is getting fitted on the top. So where I cut this out, we're going to have a very random jagged edge. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do about that yet, whether I'm going to maybe put some rubber beading around it to hide the edge or what, but it'll look a bit unfinished around the edge because the vent is going to sit on top of that lip. This area around here up to there is going to be painted black, so this lip will all be black. I just need to decide where I'm going to end that black. Probably going to come down there then to meet that line there, just above, just up on the raise, the same height as the thickness of that, and then it won't look like super jaggy around there. So about there, yeah, about 4mm up off the actual face around there. And you can kind of see where you would go, about there. So black all that. Can't do that until I've took the moulds though, but nice to have the mesh. And I've got these performance panel fasteners. Rudy with the Subaru and Fabio with the S13 both said do not cheap out on these fasteners, because they've both used them, and apparently Rudy did cheap out on it, and the shit. He hasn't got the locking ones. Yeah, the finish isn't so great. I don't know about the quality of the rest of it, but Fabio spent a bit more money on his. Let's have a quick look, see if they're the same. I'm going to presume that they are. Yeah, very, very similar. It's that hydrographic carbon effect, but they both said that these are much better than the other ones, so pull that back over there. Now, one issue that we're going to have with this, that's where they're going. I've left those marks there because that's essentially getting cut out anyway. Whether you use this sort of panel fastener or the little round ones with the push button or whatever, you still got, that's where you're going to put the catch. It makes more sense, because underneath is a flat panel where you put these things, you bolt those to the car. Those have got the hole in there, and that little pin there goes through the hole and locks it down. Those rubbers, you adjust that so the bonnet will sit down onto the rubbers. Press that, and when you lift that, it pulls that bolt back and locks it all together. But when this goes onto here, hang on a minute, I'm just going to make that flat again, like that. So this panel has got a curve in it, so this is going to sit up at one edge or the other. There's no way, I don't want to put it at a silly angle, but it doesn't actually sit flat until it's like, you could see, you could maybe move that hole and get it there. I don't know what it's like underneath. That's reasonable, but still rocking. There's nowhere flat on the car actually, because even on the doors, they're not flat, they're curved as well, and the curve that way slightly as well. So I honestly don't think there's a flat panel on the car, but that's just how the shape of the car is. Anyway, I need to work out where these are going to sit, whether I'm going to put them there, put them there. I think they need to be fat end at the front rather than the back, so that way. Whoop, this panel's really slippy because I waxed it. So yes, it's going to sit about there. Now in the moulding process, this paint is going to get damaged, just like every other bit of paint, the piece that we've moulded. So I'm totally expecting to repaint this anyway. So what I'm probably going to do, cut the hole, fit them, and then build up a bit underneath before I repaint it, so that it has got a flat panel to sit on. That just stops us having to fire a load of sealer underneath it. I think it would look a lot nicer if the panel was formed properly to accept that little bit of work to get them looking nice. That's what I've got for there anyway. So, and then over here got some more mesh, and I've got a load more fiberglass. I would say it's hard to calculate, but in the whole moulding process, it's probably cost about £2,000 for all of the fiberglass to create the moulds for all of the cars. So this is more stuff to complete this, and more stuff to do the bonnet and the bumper. And the other moulds are obviously done. I went the other day, a couple of days ago as well, and got a load more bolts and washers. I've never had to buy, like, went in and says, can I have 400 bolts, 400 nuts and 800 washers, please? Yeah, that was a bit of a odd request. I've never had to buy that many bolts before, but we need them to bolt all this together. Some of those are just to replace the ones that Jonathan's used. So, and over here the Escort's moved because the Fiat Coupe that he was working on with the knackered pistons and that's now done and outside, so he had to move the Escort out to get that out, and that's now sat here. Yeah, there's something about this car, you know. There was an orange Escort turned up at the Cars and Coffee at the weekend, and same colour, same arches, but just doesn't look the same. The stance of this car is lovely. Like, I love the wheel size on it, the width of the wheels as well, and the front wheels are sitting quite a long way out because it's got different subframes and stuff in the front and the back. Actually, it's all space frame at the front. This tubular flip front, and the axle and everything. It's not a live axle. It's independent suspension. It's got a Cosworth V6 in it with a supercharger on. So, but yeah, if you put the two cars together, they would be very, very similar. But this is just an absolutely lovely car. I love it. Unfortunately, it has acquired quite a bit of overspray, so we've got a bit of cleaning to do there. Man, I've wrecked this guy's garage and some of the cars in it. It just needs a good clean off. Wipe over with thinners, get all these 3D scanning spots off it, wipe it over with thinners, and give it a polish, and it'll be absolutely fine. So that's there anyway. I just thought I'd give you a little show of that. You gotta love a Mark 1 Escort. What do you prefer, Mark 1 Escorts or Mark 2 Escorts? I'm torn. I've never had a Mark 1 Escort. I've had several Mark 2 Escorts. I'm going to say I prefer Mark 1 Escorts. With the bubble arches on and a nice set of wheels, they definitely look better to me than the Mark 2s. But in certain cases, I like the Zack Speed kit on the Mark 2. Not the box arch Zack Speed kit on the Mark 2, the flared arch Zack Speed kit like the circuit racing kit. So yeah, anyway, today we're going to put some of this stuff on that thing. That's the plan. So first of all, just show you that Jonathan's been in and got most of these little voids that was left. There's still a couple, but we'll pop them open and the next coat of resin should get that. I'm just going to give it a quick scuff over because we've got lots of little rough bits like this. So just need to sand them off because those will, see, like, you see that there? Those little raised bits there will lift up the next coat and create another void. So we need to knock any high spots off, these little spikes here. You get one of them in your finger, you know about it. So I'll just give it a scuff over. I'm just using a bit of 80 grit, folded over. I've folded it over so that the holes don't line up in the paper, because if the holes were lining up, the holes would come through, the stuff would come through the holes and I'd get stabbed in the finger. There is still some bits that are quite soft on this, just with Jonathan popping holes in the voids and putting more resin in. He's just done that this morning, so obviously I need to record as much sanding as possible because our top fan Colin loves a bit of sanding. This is just for you, Colin. Jonathan's feeling the burn in his shoulders. It's quite a... I guess it's just being used to having your arms stretched out like that, isn't it? And put you back on the tripod because that's really difficult to film. I've got this roller now to do the edges.
Yeah, that's the fun.
Right, it's not that late tonight, but we're done for the day because we can't really move the clam anymore. We don't want to mess about with it and put the next 2 coats on. We'll just leave that till next time. So flip you around. So that's where we've got to. There was obviously the 1 layer of 300 already on. Fixed the bubbles and then 2 layers of 450 with the tooling resin. We've got these returns to do, so we were talking about flipping it over and doing them, but we want to put the bolts in here first before we flip it over. So it looks like what we're going to do, not now but next time, get the bolts in, flip it over onto its top, do the undersides here, then we will put the 4 coats on there, and then we don't have to bother with that anymore. Once they've gone off, we can then flip it back over and start getting the panels up to 5 coats, so an extra 2 coats on everything. That panel was definitely the most complex in shape than everything else, and the biggest, which slowed things down quite a lot. There's a couple of areas that we're a little bit worried about as far as it coming out. This area here goes in, like in there, and it's flat there. We're a little bit concerned that might lock coming out. If it does, we're going to have to cut it on removal right along there and build 2 more fences, and then we'd have a top part of the back and a bottom part of the back, and then that would sort out that problem. That would cause a bit of a cut in the back panel, but that would also be the easiest place to repair it because these bits are just foam boarding behind the lights anyway. So, and then the only other one is in this corner, but everything else seems like it'll come off great, but we just won't know until we try. If it's a problem, it's a problem. It's still an easy fix, relatively easy fix. If it's locked on, then it is a relatively easy fix. So just a little bit of savagery to get it off. And did you say you were a little bit concerned about the vent areas as well? Like I think they'll be alright, it's just that there's quite a lot going on in that corner. Yeah. So I think it'll come off. By the time you get that end flat piece off, yeah, and the tops and stuff, I think they'll come out alright. Yeah. Probably be the last bit to come out of there. So anyway, that's where we got to today. Just having a bit tidy up. As you've seen, it's quite a messy job. It makes a mess of the whole area. We end up with bits of fiberglass and stuff laying about everywhere and whatnot. So we've just been having a bit tidy up, and I'm not here tomorrow. I'm tattooing tomorrow and Saturday, so I'll maybe be here Sunday, we'll see. Thanks for watching, subscribing, pressing buttons, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff. Bye.